Yeehaw. Yeah, yours truly back again at 8:18 p.m. on, this is my third segment today. What are we talking about? 5/27, 7 days after I was conceived. And I'm reading The Black Body now. I'm sorry, Killing the Black Body by Dorothy Roberts. And let me just read the backside. Current Affairs, African American Studies, chilling. It becomes difficult to reject the author's thesis that there is a sustained and some quarters deliberate campaign to punish black women, especially the poor, for having children. The National Law Journal. The image of the welfare queen still dominates white America's perceptions of black women. It is an image that also continues to shape our government's policies concerning black women's reproductive decisions. Proposed legislation to alleviate poverty focuses on plans to deny benefits to children born on welfare to welfare mothers and require insertion of birth control implants as a condition of receiving aid. Meanwhile, a blooming fertility industry serves primarily infertile white couples. In Killing the Black Body, Northwestern University professor Dorothy Roberts exposes America's systematic abuse of black women's bodies, from slave masters' economic stake in bonded women's fertility to government programs that coerce thousands of poor black women into being sterilized as late as the 1970s. These abuses, Roberts argues, points not only to the degradation of black motherhood, but to the exclusion of black women's reproductive needs from the feminist agenda. Groundbreaking, authoritative, and timely, Killing the Black Body is both a powerful and new legal argument and a valuable aid for teachers, activists, and policymakers in creating a vision of reproductive freedom that respects each and every American. Roberts' monumental and tightly documented book is an important contribution to the literature of civil rights, reproductive issues, racism, and feminism. San Francisco Chronicle. Now, I wish to go ahead. Can y'all see? Is that good enough? 3 minutes in. And Dorothy Roberts graduated from Yale College and Harvard Law School, the author of more than 40 articles and essays that have appeared in, among other publications, the Harvard Law Review, the New York Times, and she's a professor at Northwestern University School of Law, where she teaches courses in criminal and family law and civil liberties. She lives in Evanston, Illinois. Now, let's get back to the major content. Being a melanin-dominant black man, understanding that my melanin, biological living light, I absorb the sun's rays as a child of the sun, and being not only a man, but thinking like a father for 7 to 10 generations down the line. I'm not exactly sure that men assume the responsibility of being a father. Having a penis doesn't make you a daddy, or having a child because you impregnated a woman. And did I say this was 7 days after my conception in 1961? I'm 58, and I'm still looking for the mother of my child. And so, once again, I'm going to go back to 1893, and this woman in 1893, she wrote, "The painful patient, the silent toil of mothers to gain fee, simple title to their bodies of their daughters. The despairing fight as an entrapped tigress to keep hallowed their own persons would furnish material for epics." Anna Julia Cooper. Now, this is a black woman, and who is that keeps coming to mind? All right, just read the content. I made reference to the bell curve in the earlier segment, and let's get to some of the other, I suggest an expanded and less individualistic conception of reproductive liberty that recognizes control of reproduction as a critical means of racial oppression and liberation in America. Reproductive freedom is a matter of social justice, not individual choice. Plans to distribute Norplant. I'm reading excerpts that I've highlighted as the sun goes down. I'm just giving you some flavor in Nana's backyard as a melanin-dominant black man who's thinking outside the box, understanding what it means to be biological living light. No, I'm original. I'm not an albino. I'm not a mutation. I am the father of the mutant and the albino. So, let's just keep going. Read. Plans to distribute Norplant in black communities as a means of addressing their poverty. Law enforcement practices that penalize black women for bearing a child. A welfare reform measure that cuts off assistance for children born to welfare mothers all proclaim the same message. The key to solving America's social problems is to curtail black women's birth rates. In Chapter 6, she argues that race also determines the use and popularity of technologies designed to enable people to have children. So I'm dealing with coronavirus, and I had to wear a mask to go outside off the property. And these are laws made up by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and they're the same people that allowed syphilis to fester in the Tuskegee Airmen experimentation even after they had the cure, the inoculation or whatever, the penicillin, whatever it was. I don't care about the details, but I'm just looking at the construct of the mindset of an insecure, my child, the male, who's so insecure in his manhood that he has to rule, control, and dominate. Do you feel dominated in this societal structure? And then trying to find somebody to comprehend any of what I'm discussing. Oh, R.A., we've always needed money. You can't live without dead slaveholders. Can we change the value structure to any human being born deserves to live their life, not only L-I-V-E, but E-V-I-L. And now you have to determine the level of balance between your L-I-V-E and E-V-I-L. Is the calcified pineal gland of my melanin recessive inbred mutant albino child capable of comprehending what it means to have a balanced first eye? Does that make sense? Am I talking stupid? Now, she writes also, scientific racism understands racial variation as a biological distinction that determines superiority and inferiority. Only a theory rooted in nature could symbolically account for the anomaly of slavery existing in a republic founded on the radical commitment of liberty, equality, and natural rights. Whites invented the hereditary trait of race and endowed it with the concept of racial superiority and inferiority to resolve the contradiction between slavery and liberty. Scientific racism explained domination by one group over another as the natural order of things. Blacks were biologically destined to be slaves, and whites were destined to be their masters. It also forged an indelible link between race and policies governing reproduction. Because race was defined as an inheritable trait, preserving racial distinctions required policing reproduction. Reproductive policies in America inevitably involves racial politics. As both political and social reproducers, it is only natural that black mothers would be the key focus of this racist ideology. Oh, there goes my time. 13 minutes for this particular segment. It's 8:30 on 5/27. How is that 5 drawn? How is that 2 drawn? How is that 7 drawn? And what is the message from the ancestral spirits to you and I in the configuration of the drawing of the 1?
Okay, check it out.
Are you capable of tapping into your one self and allowing yourself to deal with all aspects of the 4 quadrants of your H-U-E, humanity? I'm only Father Nature putting out a message. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just saying, open your eyes and see the light in the dark. Is that appropriate for it to be dark like this? All right, gotta go.